1, 2, 3.
Hello and welcome back to the Mixing Music Podcast. I'm your host Dee Kei, and with me today we have my always the same co-host Spanky Lu.
I will take it, but
usually I try to start with
Anna,
an L nickname, but off the top, and we have a special guest today. Lu, do you want to introduce our guest today?
Yeah, so today we got my longtime friend, DJ Icee. He's a producer, he's an engineer, he's worked on a lot of records that you guys have actually heard, and with a lot of upcoming artists that are actually pretty cool, to be honest. Like, you find these guys out here in LA, but they're on the indie market, but once you actually listen to the music, it's like, why aren't they blowing up? Like,
it's a fact.
So, what have you been doing lately? Like, can you kind of elaborate on like what you've been working on, or like where people can find you?
So, as of lately, I just got back from Atlanta. I was with Airplane James, Beat Boy, and then I was also with Merlaku Ra. I was with Gary Biddy. I was with Trav. I was with a whole bunch of people. The Herd. Shout out to the Herd.
Nice.
Man, y'all can find me everywhere. I'm trying to think about like, all the things that I've been doing. I'm also like trying to get my tea right. I'm trying to get my mind right, but also YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything.
We'll link it all. Like,
everything.
give us the links to everything. We'll put it on.
Yeah. So our first question is, for people that don't know you, what is your story? Like, what did you do before? How did you get into music? And more importantly, like the production recording side of music. And what has been your journey to get you to now where you're working with Dreamville and stuff like that? What is kind of your path?
My path would be music started for me at, I want to say, around the age of since I was born. My mother is from New York. She's from the Bronx. She's from where the building that hip hop was originated in.
Nice.
On top of that, you got on the other hand, my father, DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Taught my brother how to DJ. Taught me how to DJ.
Family business.
All the way up until this point till today. So I've known how to DJ since I was like 9.
That's actually kind of
like
dope.
when I like started, like when I like messed around with vinyl, kind of understand like what was going on, and then from there on, just been in love with music since.
Yeah.
When did you start like producing or engineering, or what did you start on first?
I started on a video like back in the day, like we used to make montages. Like,
okay.
like video games and all that. So like Call of Duty, we go crazy on, and like Gears of War and things like that. So we use this video like editing software. I think it was Sony Vegas Pro, like the old version.
Back when you had to buy it on a disc at Best Buy.
On God.
Yeah.
So we had that. I had an Xbox Live microphone, just like one of the little headset joints.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just plug in that into the mic portion of the Windows computer.
Yep.
And that's how we get our sound. And I pulled in beats from YouTube, and then that wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
We needed better beats, so I picked up production. We needed somebody to engineer.
And you just kind of jumped into that.
So I just jumped into both. I kind of like double dusted in.
Nice.
Was there ever like a time where you're like, should I engineer? Should I go to school? Or were you just jumped into it?
I don't deal with school.
That's right. I mean, like you were so passionate about it that you were like, no questions asked. Let me just start.
What would you rather have? Would you rather have the quote-unquote knowledge that you think a school would teach you, or would you rather have actual knowledge from going through the motions of doing what you claim that you want to do?
Yeah, I always tell people all the time, like, there's a popular saying going around, but it holds true every time I talk to people, like, yo, if you wanted to be a doctor and you don't know what to do to get to there, go knock on a door of a doctor's office and talk to the head doctor there. Like, go find out what they did or what they recommend.
That's a fact.
Don't just blindly go to the school
exactly
and be like, that's how it works.
Producer.
Yeah. Like, when I started engineering, I had a friend named Jerry Mateo, who I was actually introduced to through my best friend Joseph. And what was funny is the dude would grill me on basics. Ask DK, I grill everybody on basics.
He grills me on basics, but mostly because I deserve it.
I mean, DK is very fast and efficient, and he's good at what he does. But because me and him both have this ADHD, like, on crack.
It's been like 5 times in the last 3 days I have done messed up something. And it's like always super simple things. Like I wrapped the cable wrong or like...
Or like forgot to check where the aux was patched to or something.
I think what it is I just need some sleep.
Hey, I feel that. But, going back to it is like Jerry actually helped me really understand engineering because he was actively engineering, getting paid to engineer. That was something I wanted to do. And I had nobody to teach me except for somebody who was professional. I think that was what like Leap started everything, Mm-hmm. So that was actually really cool. So, learning from a professional is always the best.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you started engineering. So you started making some beats, and then you started engineering. What made you continue to go down that path? Like, how old were you at this time when you decided to start engineering?
Video games was jumping, so...
Like, were you in high school? Was this after?
It was definitely middle school.
Oh, so this was early.
Oh, yeah, video games been jumping in my whole life. Like, everybody wants to claim, like, they've been a gamer. Cap. Bro, y'all just got hip to games. Don't lie. Like, don't lie. Like, don't fake it for Twitch. Like, y'all just got on Call of Duty. Like... Bro, y'all don't remember Call of Duty 3 when the graphics was trash? Like, don't talk to me, bro.
Do you remember playing it on PlayStation 1 and being like, what the hell is that in the distance?
Bro, do you remember looking at the disc and being like, yo, man, I don't know what they doing on here, but I'm on Crash Bandicoot because this cover looked wild. And then you didn't understand that it was Warfare until the fourth one.
You ever remember looking at the disc and being like, damn, I hope it plays?
Bruh. You ever just stare at the disc? I hope this one plays. If not, we're going to have to do the ha-ha trick and pray.
Please, now, because you say you've been playing games for so long, were you playing games back when I think it was like Domino's or Pizza Hut was giving out the PlayStation demo disc?
Yo,
where
bro.
you order a large pizza?
Bro,
I do remember that.
Listen, I've been playing games since games was games.
Yeah.
Me and my dad was just on FaceTime today talking about how he was on Facebook Marketplace trying to find a Dreamcast. Because we used to have a dream.
Yo, actually,
we used to have a Dreamcast and play the most best fishing game in the world.
What fishing game?
Yo, man, they got a whole fishing rod for it, but we used to sit there and play that joint for hours.
Yo, I played the same.
Me, him, and my brother would sit there and play this fishing game for hours.
I know some of you guys aren't watching the video of this, but I'm like eyes open to this. Like, there was a fishing game with a fishing rod.
Oh,
and
it was
the Dreamcast rod thing. Yo, I love the Dreamcast. That was probably my favorite console.
Dreamcast was such.
Did you ever play Shenmue?
Yeah, I played everything.
Yo, Shenmue on the Dreamcast was probably the game for me.
Honestly, I was always PlayStation my whole life, but it wasn't even because I had a preference.
Nah, it's cool because y'all adapted some of the
PlayStation.
games. PlayStation adapted because y'all adapted Ready to Rumble.
That's true.
Ready to Rumble was
my cousin had a Sega, but
classic,
I didn't visit him all the time when he had it. So like when we did start like hanging out more, it was always like Nintendo 64, Super Smash Bros. Or Donkey Kong or some shit like that, like typical Nintendo shit. Mm-hmm. But
typical 4 players.
After that, it was just PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and now I'm gonna get the PlayStation 5.
Ready to Rumble was that 4-player minigames thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, with the green, blue, red players and stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
What was that game?
What about Power Stone? Do you remember Power Stone on Dreamcast?
That one I don't.
I do not.
Power Stone is nostalgic to me. Okay, anyway, we're getting on a super
we're
tangent.
over here doing an audio show
middle school,
talking about video games.
Middle school when you started engineering.
Video games heavy, so booming. So I'm probably like, what's middle school?
But I mean, I would say
12, 13.
Yeah.
So 12, 13, I'm around school like, yo, man, like I do music. I'm just like, yeah, that's like what I do.
So most people, I would say, like even with all of our friends, a lot of people stop making music after high school and throughout college years, or like a lot of people stop making music, and then only a few stick around and continue for a long time because it's hard as fuck, straight up.
Yeah,
for sure.
So what is your story from during that transitional phase, like after high school and when you're trying to figure out adult life?
Like I met you when you were already like working. I met you with Bright and Dez, and you already knew what you were doing, and obviously you started early. But like, what was it like really getting into the industry? Like, what was your transition?
My transition goes pretty far as seeing it from all ends of the spectrum, from the DJ realm, from the producer realm, and the engineer realm. Just seeing how different gigs operate when you a DJ, how different gigs operate when you run in your role as a producer. You come in, you play your beats, blah, blah, blah. You get out.
Yeah.
You engineering, you staying from beginning to the end.
First one in, last one out.
similar to DJ life, but it's on wax. It's on full wax. Like, you just recorded everything that you did, so everything needs to be a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of records that once it's cut, like, it just goes out like that. And that's it. The cut was the one.
I mean, because you got to think about it. If we want to sell the live recording, we don't want to sell something extremely over-rehearsed and or that, unless that's your forte, unless that's your thing.
I mean, if you're doing pop, I get it.
If you're doing pop, I get it, but I mean, I like to feel things.
Yeah. I mean, I keep saying it all the time, you know, it's funny because I tell everybody this all the time, and it's funny, for those of you watching, you might notice we're wearing the same shirt. I actually purposely wore this shirt today before we even asked Ice to come through.
Crazy.
And then when I FaceTimed him,
I wasn't even supposed to
I looked at him
here.
and I was like, yo, why are we wearing the same shirt?
So what is the shirt? What is the Flores and the Ice?
Flores. All right, so boom, I just put out a project. It's Instrumentals Flores. It's real sentimental. Y'all can go read the post and whatnot. But it translates as far as to my girl is the one who picked out all the sounds, and then we strung it all along, made it one cohesive like instrumental project. And then we just decided to put it out. So
That's dope.
That's cool.
That's what it is. So
Is it on online anywhere?
it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So Flores instrumentals.
Instrumentals.
Instrumentals,
What's cool about this shirt thing today is, for me, it actually kind of meant more than just matching shirts. I always tell people about how you're the reason I got to Dreamville, and about building relationships that are non-transactional, like just genuine conversation, people helping out people. Because we've done a ton of projects where neither one of us got paid. Or you just hit me up like, yo, we've got this album, it needs to be mastered, but there's no budget at all.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, you know what, it's Ice, I'm doing it, I don't care. But you're the reason I was at Dreamville, and that came from actually building relationships in this industry where we were introduced to each other by Bright. Was it at NAMM when we first met? Yeah, at NAMM, I think 2018. And we actually just kind of started working together, and because of us vibing together, you actually presented me with the opportunity to start working with Ari. And that's the only reason I was in the room with Ari. But how is that, like, for me and you, that was our relationship, but how is it for you? I know you work a lot with Bas, you work with Omen, but like, how is it for you, like, building these relationships to where, like, you were actually able to get into the room? I only got there because of our relationship. But you have been doing this much longer than I have. You have been meeting a lot more people, and you stay way more active than I do. You just fly under the radar. I feel like more people need to know about you.
I just do my best to just always stay grinding. I get put on by my homies. So Sylvan put me on to Anik. Anik put me on to Bas, and then Bas has been plugging me since. So it's all just who you surround yourself with. I surround myself with a very, very close-knit group of people. I know a lot of people. I do business with a lot of people. I do great business is what I do. But I have a really tight-knit group, and we all share.
Yeah.
What's the sense of having a whole pizza to yourself? That's pretty greedy. When you can share a slice and have a way better experience.
Yeah.
With your pizza. You get the pizza and the fiesta.
Yeah. And it's funny because I tell people all the time, I love putting money in other people's pockets. I love creating opportunities, and I've seen you do that for a lot of people. But do you, like, let me ask you, do you have interns? Do you take interns? Like if somebody wanted to work for you or learn from you, like, is that something that's possible?
Man, it's definitely something that's possible, for sure.
Okay. Yeah,
because I'm definitely looking for, but again, I hold myself to a really, really, really high standard.
Man, and I think that's why we fuck with each other a lot. And I don't know if I can say the F word, I'll be honest. I think we've already said it a million times, but...
No, you're good.
But...
We got sensors, we're engineers.
Yeah,
we can always go... Eep.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like, I'm sure most people that are listening just want us to be really us, you know?
Yeah, because the reality is this, like, the reason me and Ice got along early is we really kind of knew and understood each other's kind of workflow mentality. We were able to get into a session and get things done, like no funny business, no over talking, kind of things like that. Like, we made the joke earlier that I talk too much, and I do. But when we got to work, we actually worked pretty seamlessly together, and we just kind of vibed off of that and continued building. Yeah, and that's kind of like what you were saying, like having good relationships and doing good business with people, where it's like, yo, we can build, just no funny stuff.
Yeah, it's clean cut. It's fair and simple.
So I have a question for you. What do you think makes DJ Icee different from another generic producer engineer? Like who is DJ Icee and what makes you unique and continue to get new gigs?
My ear.
Your ear? Is it ear for frequencies?
My ear for everything. I can't explain it to you. You can kind of only see it if you see me live in action. You see me live DJing. You see me live mixing. Because when I'm in the studio, this isn't just like cut, copy, paste, and then we just gonna sit here. All right, we just gonna run this same flu flam every single time. It's all right. What we on today? Oh, that's how we feel today. I think I'm gonna EQ the vocal like this today because this is how we feeling today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Record.
compressors. We not doing compressors today. Because the vocals coming in really, really clean today.
Yeah.
My vocalist is doing a fantastic job doing their live performance. Because that's what this is.
Man, what I heard you doing earlier, what was your friend's name?
Trev Rich.
Trev Rich. Like, shout out to that guy. That dude is an amazing writer. But what I heard you guys do earlier, I remember twice you guys played, just as soon as you hit play and I heard his voice come on, I was like, ooh. What is that? And you guys were laughing, but I was serious. Like, I'm a huge gut feeling guy. Like, I knew I liked you when I met you, but that record, both those records, I knew I liked right when I heard it. And I even asked them, like, yo, can I just have a copy of this? I'm not going to show it to anybody. I promise not to distribute anything. I just really want to hear it. Yeah, and that was you just right out the cut. That was walking out the studio. You already had an impression on me on that record. But that was, I've seen you work where you... Kind of like we were talking about earlier. You're doing too much. Mm-hmm. You know, cut the cheese.
All right,
we're good.
All right, we're going to be honest. Engineers be doing the most. Mm-hmm. There's no need that you got 80 compressors on this song, bro.
Yeah.
It don't make sense. Like, why do you got RVox and R Comp running at the same time simultaneously 3 times?
And then they got our Renaissance Axe.
I just want to know. And then you running it through a CLA. I'm just like, all right, bro. Like, do you? But it's a bit much for me.
No, I remember.
I like natural. If I get a good microphone, then I know I'm gonna get natural sound. So I'd rather focus with the natural sound than trying to go in the box and make it sound like something else.
And I know you the sounds that you like, because I remember we've talked about this before, where you're like, you know what, give me an Avalon 737 and the 87. I like that better than the BAE 1073. It's not the sound that I like. And you know what? Man, I respect that because you know how many people are asking, like, you got a 1073 and a CO1B in the studio? It's like, I do, but
it's the industry
is there room for, you know, change in the vocal chain? Oh no, that's what we need. Okay, well, I have it, so come on through, you know?
I'm all for it. I'm all for the vocal chains. Experiment with y'all vocals. I like things that sound clean as possible. I can't get a clean sound. It sounds too gritty, it sounds too dirty, it sounds too mid-rangey for me. It's not my taste. It's not my cup of tea. I like different.
That's good.
And that's totally fine. And that's actually a good thing. So kind of going back to you saying you have the ear, I want to ask the question that I'm sure everyone has a question about is, how did you get the ear? And like, how do you continue to train that?
The ear came from me going back and listening to all of the records that my parents grew up to.
So just listening
to
your foundational roots.
Because there's you could pick up a new sound every single day. There's a new sound floating around. There's somebody in Michigan with a brand new sound that we'd never heard before.
Oh my God, I found so many artists that during this whole pandemic, I found artists that weren't in Cali that I'm like, dude, you have to come out
with a sound that
please.
we've never heard before. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
you're saying that study the foundation, the roots, and then kind of let that influence take you to new levels.
You have to sit with it. You have to sit with music. You have to fully enjoy it. We're in the age where things are so disposable. So an album can come that we've supposedly been waiting for the entire year, and we'll listen to it for a week and then be done with it. Back in the day, music didn't come out for eons.
Yeah.
You get a single at the top of the year, you might get another follow-up single at the next top of the year.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? Like, that was when it was coming back. Like, hey, man, we back with this next single to flex on y'all. But that's from the same artist. And then in between that, you got maybe 3 similar artists coming up in that same lane. So they going to drop projects. So you might get maybe 7 songs in a year.
Yeah.
If you lucky, if they wasn't doing projects.
Yeah.
So think about that all the way up till Guitar Center started to boom. And then there's a track being released every 2.2 seconds.
That's wild.
That's actually pretty cool if you think about it, because I know a lot of people that live
Another
on
track.
the new music playlists
Another
where they're like, another one. Where they live on iTunes like
SoundCloud
new
right
releases. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like every 2 seconds is another song.
So let me ask you this. Because of the saturation of music, you know, there's so many different styles. You got like, there's trap, but then there's like emo trap. There's also punk trap and all that kind of stuff. Like there's so many different things going on. And I just use those as examples as things that I would have never really thought of as a genre to create. But I know you work with a lot of people, and I've met a lot of the cats, and they all have like dope sounds, but they're also very different from each other. How have you found yourself, like, do you feel the need to adapt the way you communicate or the way you work according to the room? Like obviously, like, you're not going to record Bas the same way that you're going to record, let's say, Anthony Hamilton necessarily. Maybe there's a different vibe in the studio. Maybe one studio has musicians.
Every studio.
What is your adaptability to that?
Every studio session is a different vibe. You're never going in on the same playing field as you just left. Something has always changed. Everything changes in life. Change comes every single day. So you can't go in with the same mindset. If you do, then you kind of setting yourself up for what you gonna get what you always got.
Yeah.
In a sense.
So like, there's nothing revolutionary about you. There's nothing that stands out about you.
No.
So in a nutshell, like what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, I may be being blunt about it, but it's like, if you're not doing anything new, then why do we have you around? Like, we've already got that sound 2 years ago. If you haven't changed anything in 2 years, or you've never adapted in 2 years, like, nothing's different.
It's kind of just, hey man, we gonna run it, and it's gonna touch down.
Yeah.
I often actually, on that note, I even find myself recently with mixes because I've been focusing so much on efficiency, doing the same exact thing that you said, just being automatic sometimes. And I think that doing exactly what you said, like doing something different every single time, continuing to experiment, continuing to learn, is probably the best way to continue to adapt the ear as well, along with listening to records and stuff.
And that also comes from me I'm listening to a lot of new people. Like,
How do you feel, like, socially speaking? You know, all right, let me give you an example. You got some artists that you work really well with, and they have a certain, like, familiar love with you. And then there's other artists that just book you because they know you're a good engineer, but you're not really part of their circle or anything. Mm-hmm. Like, how have you found yourself adapting both to new and previous clients?
it's all about playing your role.
Okay.
You gotta think of it like we talked about the pizza thing earlier. Now we're gonna switch it to basketball because me and Desi G just got the new Xbox, by the way. Shout out to my boy Desi G. I was at Desi's crib earlier, and he was playing 2K. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how many people you running with? He's like, I'm running with two of my boys, and I got two randoms, like two random people. And I was like, all right, cool. So they playing the game. I'm over there sitting there. We trying to get stuff in Ableton right. Mm-hmm. And then I think about it, I'm just like, yeah, man, people just gotta play their role. If everybody play their role, everybody could win. So, bro, I'm gonna pass you the ball. If you at the top of the key, if you close to the rim, I'm gonna pass you the ball. We gonna pass this ball around. We gonna run pick and rolls. We gonna do whatever we gotta do and play as a team efficiently to win.
Yeah, that makes sense. Realistically speaking, I think we did that a lot together over at Dreamville. I remember I walked in on a session, you were recording with Omen, and then Ari got onto the mic, and you're like, yo, come on over. I'm like, oh, yo, it's your session. And things, but you're like, yo, but I know you've been working with Ari.
Yeah.
And you work efficiently with Ari. So let's just cut this record. You'll get your point, your credits and all that, and we're good. And me and you just like, all right, cool. It works. Simple? Like, you know how to work with Omen? Great. I know how to work with Ari? Great.
Here you go.
And we got a record done between the two of us. That's where, like, I'm seeing a lot more, like, co-engineering of mixes and things like that. Like Baines and Tizio is doing a lot of work together on the Chris Brown Thugga stuff. But it's really just that Young Thug really likes Baines, Chris really likes Pat, and it's not that one is better than the other. It's that, let me go with my guys that just this is my team. It's efficiency.
It's that simple. The way that Nav works really fascinates me.
Really.
People need to pay more attention to Nav. He's gonna get back on production, like doing his own production again, like he used to when he first started. But he got a team. his team works for him. Him and his team now work with everybody. Anybody that wants to come do stuff with them, they run through the team. So all their stuffs get mixed by Pro Logic. That's his engineer. That's also one of his producers. His other producer, homie, doing majority of the beats. All them doing majority of production and staying in house. Them, I just got hip to Philly, working on Daye, and it's a production group. These niggas is all nasty. They're all disgusting. Fantastic producers.
So let me ask you this. We'll wrap it up with this, but I never like putting a limit to who you think people should check out, but because you're so plugged into the underground side of LA that a lot of people are unaware of, and you're also plugged into the top end of things, if you could say there's 5 people to check out that you've been working with that you honestly say, like, you know what, I feel like they should get more plays, who would you say people should actually go and take a listen to hear not only what you've been doing both as a producer, as an engineer, but like, you know, who can they familiarize themselves with that's related to your productions?
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to my iPhone. It's dying, but
it's holding it down though.
It's holding it down.
I promise you that.
You wanted to say something real quick?
No, I was just gonna put a big sir and that whole shutdown, all stupid.
Bruh, it was so tragic.
Yeah, we still won't leave Apple for some.
We can't. We can't leave Apple, bro. We're addicted. It's sickening.
It's that airdrop for me.
It is It's the airdrop for me. It's the airdrop for me. All right, 5 artists. First I would go with Do the Damn Things.
Oh yeah.
Sandberg West. You feel me? Who else? I would go Trev Rich. I'm going Sylvan LaQ. I'm going Marlakura. What's that for?
That's 4.
Damn, people gonna hate me. Oh well. Who else do I listen to? I got this homie. His name's Ruby. Ruby's crazy.
Ruby?
Yeah, I got some. Me and Ruby got some stuff. Me and Ruby finna show out real soon. But
so let's do this.
I'm gonna say them. I got a whole bunch of people. You know,
I was gonna say you probably have hundreds of people.
I'm trying.
Oh, trust me. Every time I hit Ice, he's somewhere else.
I'm thinking of the Rolodex, and I'm just like, yo, there's so many people.
My favorite thing that Ice ever tells me is, I'm like, where you at? He's like, I'm in Africa.
Africa.
He could be down the street. He's in Africa.
Gone. I don't know where I am.
So, how about this? Make a playlist of some tracks that you think people should actually take a listen to. Definitely. We'll link it. That way people can listen to it. They can get familiar with your sound. But, yo, honestly, thank you for coming through. Man, I know you've been running sessions and everything, and literally it's midnight right now, and you're here doing this with us. Thank you for that, man.
Bro.
Appreciate you, Doug.
My boy. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Ice, and we'll link all of Ice social in the description below.
Most definitely.
And maybe we'll see you again soon on the show or something like that.
Man, I'll be back.
Ask us questions. Follow DJ Ice. What's your Instagram tag?
It is at DJ Icee, 2 E's, because I'm extra, .tfo.
.tfo. DJ Icee .tfo. Go follow him on Instagram, hit us up, ask him some questions. He is the man. DJ Ice is very knowledgeable and more importantly is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. He's very courteous, so you'll want to get to know this guy. You'll want to hit him up. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Always. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And with that, happy mixing, everybody, and stay saucy.
1, 2, 3.
If you'd like to take advantage of my free guides and online videos, please check out links.dkmixes.com. That's links.dekeimixes.com.